Good morning. It is Let It Go and Let It Grow. Ray is on vacation still, so I thought I would move to my bedroom so I don't be disturbed with him running back and forth and doing 100 million things. This is Wednesday the 5th. Tomorrow I have clients booked all day long, and then Friday we are off to Mahone Bay. That's a very cool story. So what I thought I would do is pre-record, batch create the next 3 readings. So this will be the atmosphere you will see for the next 3 readings. And that way I can just optimize them and then pop them up day after day so I don't miss out for the rest of the week. So what are we letting go of today? And we are letting go of the 5 of Swords. Swords are thoughts, communication, truth, conflict, and perspective. Swords are all about the mental house, so sharp of mind, what's going on in your head. It is an air sign, if you can think of the sword cutting through the air. And they are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius signs for us today. And the 5 of Swords is Venus in Aquarius energy. So there is that. And the lighting is not the best here, but I'm going to make do. So Aries signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Today's reading is fascinating because both cards are the 5s, which I found super cool. And in numerology, the 5 represents change, challenge, growth, and transformation. And that's exactly what happens in the tarot. The 5s are all about changes. There's some of, they're the midway point between Ace and 10. So it's kind of a challenging position for the journey of the tarot. So these cards suggest that life may feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is often the doorway to profound healing. So you've got to get your mental house and your prosperity house in order. So the Venus in Aquarius is release the need to win every argument. And this is the one including yourself. I'm just going to try to get a little bit more, see how annoying that is. Release the need to win every argument. Not all arguments need a winner and a loser. Sometimes it's just easier to get out of your own head and decide that there can be a draw. We had justice yesterday. So coming into that balance point, knowing that you don't have to have all of the answers again at the same time, this is asking us to get out of our head and realize that we don't have to win everything, every argument. We don't always have to be correct. We don't always have to be right. Let go of relationships that thrive on conflict rather than connection. So we all have that person in our life. Could be an employer, could be a family member, could be a friend, or what I call frenemy, that all they want to do is push their point of view on you and create discord and arguments. And this is asking you today to take stock of the relationships in your life and where can you let go of things to give yourself that mental peace. You need the connection in your life. You don't need that conflict. So it's asking you, where can you clean your mental house so that these people don't annoy you as much? You can see that little person down there and the letting go of the mental discord. Once you do that, there is a beautiful sense of freedom that comes on the other side of that. So releasing the old stories that keep you replaying in your mind, those looping thoughts, the things that you can't seem to get past, get over, that drag you down through a cycle of discord. And knowing that eventually you can work through these, you can work these out and let go of it and cause yourself or create a sense of peace for you, which will help you in the long run clear out those cobwebs and make that space for balance, for clarity, and for peaceful thoughts rather than that looping trauma tape that you have going. Stop carrying guilt over things that you can't change anymore. You don't live in the past, and this is a good remembrance for me. I'm going through a bit of a rough spell right now. As I said a couple weeks ago, I've entered grief season, so there's a lot that comes up for me this time of year. With my birthday and having my family gone, there's a huge sense of loss around this. And we're also now coming up on the anniversary of when Ray had his stroke. So there is so much emotionally wrapped into this. And even though it's hard on the head, I'm glad I'm feeling what I'm feeling and giving myself that space to do that. So I'm releasing the guilt of having to make stories up about why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I know why. So stop carrying the guilt over it. If things come up and you end up looping a bit, know that you can work yourself out of that. And it's not a matter of releasing and letting go forever. It's releasing the pattern and the cycle that you're in now and giving yourself that space from those thoughts and choosing peace over having to prove your point. So coming back to the not having to win every argument that comes your way. This is exactly that too. Sometimes you are in an argument situation, or you're in a situation you are 100% right, but the other person isn't going to see that. Just let it go. You don't have to be right. You are right. You don't need to be right in their eyes all the time. So this is asking you to let go of that need to be constantly right. So for the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, this card is asking you to notice where your mind has become your greatest opponent, where it's in the let us go position. Where has this become an opponent to you? Sometimes the most powerful victory isn't convincing someone else. It's freeing yourself from that argument altogether. Your argument, an argument with another, that discord, that rumination in your head, that's spinning the wheels over and over and over again. And if you can let it go, look at that. You can get into that beautiful beam of light and feel that freedom, feel it lighting up for you, and feel what it feels like to give yourself that mental clarity and that mental freedom, shedding some light into the corner of his mind as well, and then just lighting it up. So for letting it grow, we are letting grow the beautiful Five of Pentacles. Once again, another 5. Pentacles is home, health, career, abundance, and physical well-being. This is Mercury in Taurus energy, and we are growing your willingness to ask for support. If you can see there, she looks very forlorn, very isolated, very withdrawn, very much into her thoughts, not being able to pay attention to what's happening around her. She needs help, and she's willing to reach out and ask for that. Allow yourself to receive kindness without feeling like it's a burden. A lot of us who end up in this realm are helpers. We are people who will go that extra mile for others. We will work where we can to help others succeed in their journeys, their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health. But that can leave us depleted, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So know where you can open yourself up and receive that help, knowing that, we'll use the sunlight there. There's a key there that fits into that lock. And because of her darkness and her being caved and the feeling of being unsupported, she can't see that key's there. She can't see that lock is there, and doesn't realize that the key to her own freedom is literally a step away from her. So she can receive the help when she needs to with grace. Build faith that the difficult seasons are temporary. These two really work well together because these are both, once again, being 5s, these are both heavy challenge cards to come together. But remember how I've talked about earlier in the week of if your mental house isn't clear and your physical house isn't clear, the spiritual house isn't going to be clear. So entrainment. So if your physical and mental health aren't there, your spiritual health isn't there either. So you're going to need a little bit of support right now in the spiritual realm as well. So build that faith and know that seasons are temporary. This too will pass. It's like a storm. The clouds come in, it clouds over, it rains. Could be a day, could be 2, but you know that on the other side of that, the sun is there and will shine its light on you again, and you will rise in a new time and in a different mental state. Focus on the abundance that still exists, even if it feels small at the time. So it might feel like it's back here, It's a small amount of abundance, when actuality, once again, because you can't see the key, you can't see the forest for the trees, there could be a lot of abundance shining in for you. You're just unable to see it right now. And a lot of that has to do being stuck in that head, not being able to step into that light and joy of your own spirit. So don't be so hard on yourself. Know that these loops, these patterns happen. It's okay. It will pass. This is part of the human experience. This is the part of the path, the wounded healer, that helps you move forward in your own path of healing and helping not only yourself, but others as well. So remember that healing often begins the moment we stop believing that we have to do everything alone. So once again, knowing that you can receive that help, and I'm seeing that Six of Pentacles cards, the giving and receiving in balance, because a lot of times when you give and give and give and give and give in yourself, this is what you feel like when you're in these states of ill health, or you're having your chronic illnesses pop up. I know this has been a brutal summer heat-wise for my fibro. Like, I'm just all over the place, emotionally, mentally, and physically and spiritually. So this is a really great reminder. When I pulled these two cards today, I was actually excited because they're so challenging. And I was really excited to see how this was going to play out. So it's a beautiful reminder that we need to see that light and shine that light on ourselves at time. And even though that we might feel that our abundance is lacking and little, that if we find that key, open that door, and grow into it, that we have that really big abundance in front of us. We've just been blinded by it because we've been stuck in our own looping patterns for so long. So for the Earth node, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the Five of Pentacles reminds you that your worth has never been measured by your productivity, finances, or circumstances, and that just hit really deeply with me. Even during difficult seasons, you are valuable, capable, and deeply deserving of love and support. So at first glance, this reading is extremely heavy. Conflict, loss, disappointment. There's a lot of loneliness involved. But if we take a deeper look, a beautiful message is emerging. The Five of Swords is speaking about battles, arguments, misunderstandings, being stuck in that head, looping, exhausting, needing to defend ourselves, sometimes from ourselves. And the greatest conflict isn't happening with other people. It's happening in our own mind because we're looping and spinning, and that's how it's going. We wonder what we should have said. We carry resentment, guilt, regret, sadness, loss. And then the Five of Pentacles shows up and quietly appears. Many people see this card as hardship, but look closer. The figures aren't alone forever. Help exists, warmth exists, hope exists. They simply have to be willing to move forward with it and allow that to be part of their mission together. And together, these cards tell a story about releasing the isolation and those trapped feelings that we can have, that feeling that you are completely alone and that there is nobody there. Perhaps you spent so much energy fighting battles, both externally and internally, that you've forgotten that there are people willing to walk beside you and be your cheerleader and help you every step of the way. Healing's asking you to soften, to reach out, to allow yourself to be supported. And sometimes our greatest strength isn't standing alone. It's allowing someone else to remind us that we never truly were alone. The double fives also tell us something else. Change is already happening. This old chapter is ending. The new one is quietly preparing to begin. And perhaps the greatest victory this week won't be proving you're strong. It would be allowing yourself to be human in the process of life unfolding. So release the battles that no longer deserve your energy and grow the willingness to receive support and kindness. The moment you stop fighting everything alone is the moment that healing quietly finds that key, opens the door, and actually walks through it. So what battle, whether it is something with someone else or within yourself, is quietly asking to be released? and where might life be inviting us to accept port instead of carrying every burden alone. Very powerful reading today. I'm not going to do an oracle card where this is a powerful reading to be sat with, but I will leave you with the may your path be gentle, may your heart always remain open, and may your soul always remember that you are the medicine. And have a great day. Bye.